Hey tankers, and welcome to World of Tanks with PR154, and we're here on Himmelsdorf following DuggieNZ in his IS-2-II. This is a tier 8 tech tree Soviet heavy tank and on the line for the ST2. This is the first of the double-barreled Soviet heavy tanks, and the barrels can sort of be fired either sequentially or they can be fired as a salvo, where you quite literally give the enemy both barrels. There are some penalties to the reload when you fire in this manner, so I guess it does give you a lot of potential for a very high damage killing shot, or alternatively the ability to fire the barrels sequentially like an Italian auto reloader. Effectively, it's almost like a two-chamber Italian auto reloader with the option to fire both barrels. So he's deployed on the banana road and a little bit alone here. And we can see so far two tanks making an approach up the banana road. Fortunately, the turret armor on the IS-2-II holds up quite well at around 230 millimeters on most facings. Although at the end of the day, you still have the hull of an IS-2, so it's basically a tier 7 hull that is its neutral matchmaking point is at tier 8. So we really want to be making the most of any terrain that's going to protect the hull, and leaving the turret as your only exposure. Fortunately, Dougie's been able to attract a few of his teammates to come and support him on this banana road, and actually keep the enemy distracted in some cases where they've been sort of pointed down range instead of at Dougie. So he's been able to get a few cheeky shots in, particularly on that T26E5. I guess the enemy team has seen a little bit of writing on the wall, and they're trying to spread out from that nice sort of straight, almost shooting gallery of a road, which has forced Dougie to divide his attention. Finding it a little bit hard to get some purchase on the Turtle One, but Cupolas are pretty much always a weak spot, and he's able to find his mark there. We can see the enemy team is now sort of trying to spread out. They're into this D-line road. Fortunately for Dougie's team, they've been able to take the high ground on the hill as well. And this puts the enemy in a very dangerous position, in that they're going to be copping it from Dougie and the Scorpion at ground level, and they're going to be copping it from tank destroyers up on the hill as well. We can see this push really starting to crumble. There's a little bit of too little too late from the charioteer, as he ends up taking a lot of collision damage from Dougie just before he sends him back to the garage with a shot. The press continues with the enemy Type 59, who again is taking a lot of gunfire from a lot of different sides. But they were mad keen on shutting down that M449, but Dougie is able to send him back to the garage shortly thereafter. Now this just leaves the Emil 1 on the 8 line, and a significant numerical advantage for Dougie's team. He eats around from the Emil 1, but that's okay, as the Emil 1's manoeuvring is exposing his fairly weak hull, and Dougie's able to take full advantage with the 221 millimeters of base penetration on the 100 millimeter main armaments of the IS-2-II. Now, if necessary, you can change up the load so that you're getting 256 millimeters of penetration firing APCR. But so far, Dougie hasn't had to do that. Most of the targets presenting themselves have sort of had rather large bits of hull just fully exposed, hanging in the breeze. So just being a little bit patient with his shots and aiming carefully has enabled him to rack up 3,000 hit points of damage on the enemy team so far. So well done to DuggieNZ there. We're very much in the cleanup phase at this point in the match. We have in excess of a 3,000 hit point advantage over the enemy, although they're only 3 tanks ahead. This might be indicative of quite a few low hit point enemy tanks that have sort of been able to make make a retreat of some description. So DuggieNZ is sort of trying to press the flank, play a little bit aggressively. And what do we have here? The arse-end of an FV207. DuggieNZ says, yes, I will have that. And he, although it would appear the IS-2-II has beaten him to it on this particular occasion. Looking for a reload. He manages to get it just in time to put a shell into the GSAW 1008, but not before copping a few APCR rounds himself. We do know the GSAW has quite a long reload though, so if he has dumped the last of his clip on Dougie, he's not going to have he's not going to be a threat for the next 45 seconds. In that situation, you really want to, if you think a GSAW is on the reload, your best bet is to just go after it. Because you might not get the chance to face it again, because it's it might have 1200 of clip damage that it can unload quite quickly. So not a battlefield threat to be trifled with. So a bit of a swing and a miss against the SU-101, but he's able to close the distance using the rail tracks and is. Appears to be a enemy deceased Scorpion G as cover. Can he get the last kill before this match is capped out? Alright. And it looks... No, that's alright. There's still an enemy ELC even 90 in the game. But that's victory by cap out for DuggieNZ's team. Let's take a look at the results. So a well-deserved Ace Mastery badge there for DuggieNZ of the Muppets and Morons clan in the Tier 8 Russian heavy tank IS-2-II. He's also come away with 2 of these epic medals, one of which being High Calibre for accounting for at least 20% of the enemy hit point pool, with over 4,200 hit points of damage inflicted. He's also come away with the Top Gun medal for causing at least 6 kills upon the enemy team, which he's done just absolutely fantastically here. He's picked up a few other badges of merit here as well. Bruiser for causing damage to at least 5 enemy internal modules or crew members. The Duelist medal for destroying 2 enemy vehicles that had at least 2 enemy vehicles that have caused damage to him in turn. And of course the Fire for Effect medal for doing at least his hit points in damage. Looking at the team scores, a very well-deserved top placement by experience there, and quite a few high scorers on DuggieNZ's team, but particularly amongst the tank destroyers. This was the sort of game where everyone had appropriate application of force where they needed it to be. It was looking a little bit dicey initially on the Banana Road, but ultimately Dougie's team had been able to refocus and reposition and basically turn between the Banana Road and the D-Line Road into an absolute kill box to the enemy, and that put them in a hit point deficit from which they never really recovered. I guess that also highlights the importance of being able to take the hill with Himmelsdorf. It's I mean, you see other maps out there where you take the hill and that's great. You might damage some enemies along the way, and then you try and push off the hill, and you just end up getting punished for it. Himmelsdorf is not. It doesn't really work like that. Pushing off the hill and playing aggressively off the hill, it doesn't punish you like you might expect in Malinovka, for example. So I think that's quite a hallmark of good map design. So if you don't contest the position, you can often find your team in a lot of trouble. So thanks for shooting this replay through to us to share with you all, Dougie. And if anyone else would like to see one of their replays featured on World of Tanks with PR154, please give us a shout over Discord or one of the links below, and we'll do our best to sort you out. In the meantime, take care out there.